a $3 billion house, an $18.7 million car, a $20,000 haircut. These are the 7 richest Arab rulers in the world. Number 1 is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan is not only the richest Arab ruler in the world, but also the most recently crowned. He took over the Emirate of Abu Dhabi not long ago, after the passing of his half-brother, Sheikh Khalifa, last year. Since then, Mohammed has managed to multiply his fortune of $3 billion by 10, and now it's worth over $30 billion. Of course, the most important part of his wealth is in ultra-luxury properties. The jewel of his real estate collection is the Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi, which is estimated to be worth $3 billion. This opulent architectural masterpiece features amenities like a private beach, a marina, a spa, and 1 helipad, among hundreds of other luxuries. In addition to his palaces, Sheikh Mohammed owns several mansions and villas around the world. One of his most notable properties is a $45 million mansion in Beverly Hills, California, 2000 yen. The 19,000 square foot house features 8 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, a movie theater, a gym, and a tennis court. Of course, no luxurious lifestyle would be complete without a fleet of high-end cars. Sheikh Mohammed is no exception. He owns luxury cars, a $2.50 Bugatti Veyron, a $3.40 Lykan Hypersport, a luxury SUV, and a $3 Lamborghini Veneno, the Rolls-Royce Phantom, the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, and the Ferrari 599. But his favorites are the Rolls-Royce Phantom, the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, and the Ferrari 599 GTO. However, the creme de la creme of his collection is his Bugatti Lavoisier Noir, with a staggering price tag of $18.7 million. The Sheikh also owns several luxury yachts, including the Assam, one of the largest in the world, measuring over 1,500 meters in length. The vessel cost him around $600 million and features an impressive range of amenities, including a helipad, a movie theater, a pool, and a gym. The ruler of Abu Dhabi is a great patron of the arts, and his art collection is worth over $100 million. He owns one of the most valuable paintings in the world and definitely knows how to decorate his houses, yachts, and planes with style. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan may be the richest Arab ruler, but he's definitely not the richest in the world. That honor goes to King Maha Vajiralongkorn of Thailand. Check out how he spends his billions. Number 2 is Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei. The Sultan of Brunei is best known for his extravagant spending and expensive haircuts. He once paid $20,000 for a haircut, flew his favorite barber in from London on a private jet, and put him up in a 5-star hotel just so he could get a haircut in 30 minutes. Sure, if Brunei really doesn't have barbers. In any case, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah and his $30 billion personal wealth. Naturally, with such funds, haircuts aren't the only extravagant purchase on his list. In addition, the Sultan owns some 7,000 cars, many of them designed specifically for him. However, in his garage you can also see authentic masterpieces such as a Lamborghini Veneno, a Bugatti Veyron, and a Ferrari F40 valued at more than $2 billion. Plus, Sultan Hassan Al went a bit overboard when he bought a private Boeing 747-430 for $100 million and then spent another $133 million to gold-plate it. The exterior of the plane has been gold-plated, and the interior has been remodeled with gold elements, bathroom fixtures, and even a gold toilet. Let's set aside the obvious joke about Donald Trump and move on to the Sultan's real investment, his real estate. The Sultan lives in the Nur al-Aman Palace, which spans 2.15 million square feet in Bandar Seri Begawan. This enormous residence is like a city in itself, as it has over 1,580 rooms and 257 bathrooms. Since this palace is a true architectural landmark, it's practically priceless, and no one has even attempted to estimate its value. But if we want to showcase Hassan's immense wealth, Just take a look at his properties abroad. The Sultan owns a $30 million mansion in Beverly Hills, California, a $110 million castle in France, and a $400 million hotel in London. I wonder why he doesn't stay there when he wants to get a haircut. 1,000 would definitely be cheaper. The life of the Sultan of Brunei is undoubtedly fascinating, and his extravagant spending definitely grabs attention. The lack of such purchases is probably the reason why the world's richest Arab king, Saudi Arabia's number 3 King Salman, often remains out of the media's reach. Being the head of a family valued at nearly $2 trillion isn't as bad as it sounds. Indeed, there are security risks, but when your son and future king is MBS, you can be sure it's him knocking at the door, as Jamal Khashoggi would undoubtedly agree. So, fortunately for King Salman Al Saud, he can enjoy life and his $20 billion fortune. The king and his family own a vast collection of properties around the world, including one of the most expensive villas in the world, Chateau Louis XIV. This magnificent property cost the family about $300 million, a drop in the bucket when you are dealing with billions. However, the Saudi king lives in a much more humble setting. Oh, wait, I mean the exact opposite. The Royal Palace of Riyadh is a true architectural landmark and is practically priceless. Still, 2001. Experts suggest that the materials and labor for constructing the royal complex would cost no less than $500 million. And it's no surprise, since the complex spans 4.9 million square feet and includes a private hospital, several mosques, a royal cinema, and a ton of other amenities. The king's vast real estate portfolio can't overshadow his car collection. Although King Salman owns over 7,000 cars, including some of the most expensive and exclusive models in the world. His collection includes a Mercedes-Benz SL601, a $3.4 million Bugatti Veyron, and a $2.5 million gold Rolls-Royce Phantom 7. In addition, King Salman owns several ultra-luxurious private jets with a combined price of over $2 billion. Still, when he travels abroad, he prefers to use his Boeing 747. The plane is nothing less than a flying palace. It costs more than $500 million on its own. Inside, gold predominates, and it features a real throne room. That's flying in style. Naturally, disembarking from the plane is just as spectacular, with the king using a custom-made golden escalator. If not, how is he supposed to come down using regular golden stairs? If that's not impressive enough, King Salman is an avid collector of luxurious superyachts. His fleet costs over $500 million. The flagship, without a doubt, is his ultra-luxurious superyacht, Prince Abdulaziz, which is worth over $100 million. Having a golden escalator is impressive, no doubt, but having an entire golden airplane takes the cake any day. Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah must have known this, and he definitely wanted to show that he was much richer than his Saudi counterpart. Number 4. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum of Dubai. Being the ruler of the most prosperous cities in the world definitely has its perks. For Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, his $15 billion in personal wealth is just the beginning. And what's more important, the Sheikh has access to the enormous power that comes with ruling Dubai. Under his rule, the small Arab emirate became a prolific social hub for the wealthiest. Naturally, that opened up many opportunities for the Sheikh to grow his immense fortune and, more importantly, to live a truly luxurious and lavish life. His residence is a clear testament to Sheikh Mohammed's unwavering taste, as he lives in a $500 million palace. In the palace, he knows, the 100,000 square foot palace is like a gold mine, covered from top to bottom in precious metals, ivory, and intricate decorations. Naturally, it has all the comforts that an ultra-rich king deserves. A private cinema, a spa center, a game room, several pools, and gyms. After all, the Sheikh has to entertain his 6 wives somehow. Sheikh Mohammed still holds the record for the most luxurious wedding of all time, as it cost a whopping $200 million. 2001. Half of it was wasted on a flashy stadium to host the event. Of course, the ruler of Dubai has invested a lot in real estate, as some rumors say he owns more properties in England than the British royal family. With 73,000 acres in Scotland, a $45 million estate at Dalham Hall isn't that outrageous. In addition, the royal family of Dubai owns a magnificent penthouse in Monaco, valued at $323 million. This impressive apartment ranks among the 10 most expensive properties in the world. However, it pales in comparison to the Emirati Palace in Abu Dhabi. Since the Emirate of Dubai has a permanent seat in the UAE government, it decided to build itself a modest palace. Well, I guess we have a different interpretation of the word modest, since an ultra-luxurious $1 billion palace decorated with gold and silk definitely doesn't fit that description. Like any Arab ruler, Sheikh Mohammed loves expensive and luxurious cars. His collection is simply fascinating, featuring centerpiece cars like a $4 million Bugatti Veyron, a $2.5 million Lamborghini Reventon, a $1.5 million Ferrari Enzo, and a $1 million Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. In addition to these cars, he also owns a fleet of Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, and other luxury vehicles. Cars are nice, but there's nothing like cruising on a luxurious mega yacht. Fortunately, the ruler of Dubai does not disappoint. Sheikh Mohammed owns a magnificent 535-foot marine palace disguised as a super yacht. The Dubai cost the Sheikh over $350 million, but the amenities on board are worth every penny. He also owns two other yachts, the Quattro L at 290 feet and the Swift 135 at 256 feet. The combined value of his fleet is around $1 billion. An interesting fact about the ruler of Dubai is that he doesn't own a private jet. In contrast, UAE has a private airline. The Maktoum family owns the famous and luxurious airline brand Emirates. The company owns more than 100 planes, but the most luxurious by far are the Boeing 747-400s, which cost $260 million. An hour in these beauties usually costs around $600. The Emir of Dubai, however, flies for free. 2001 isn't bad. Sheikh Mohammed, not bad at all. Still, he has a lot to learn from the richest Arab kings, like the ruler of Saudi Arabia. Number 5. King Mohammed VI of Morocco. King Mohammed VI of Morocco is one of the rare examples of a modest Arab king. Don't expect him to be wandering around in rags and living in a mud hut near the border with Western Sahara. The king continues to live an opulent and very luxurious life, but he tries not to go overboard. However, he doesn't quite manage to do that. When it comes to his residences, the king owns 4 super luxurious palaces in Fez, Marrakesh, and of course, the capital, Rabat. The royal palace in Rabat is where the king resides most often. This architectural masterpiece is worth over $1 billion and features luxurious amenities like a helipad, a private theater, and a royal spa. Although not as expensive, the Darmaxin Palace in Fez is definitely the most memorable, as it stands in stark contrast to the surrounding desert landscape. It's not easy to stay hidden when you have several acres of lush green gardens and fountains in the middle of the desert. With all the parks and fountains, as well as first-class service and strong security measures, the operating budget for the 4 lavish palaces exceeds $900,000 a day. King Mohammed has many hobbies, but cars are definitely among his favorites. It's true that his garage isn't as big as some of the others on this list, but it still offers a lot of glamour. The centerpiece of his collection is definitely his Rolls-Royce Phantom, valued at around $1 million. Still, when traveling around Morocco, the king prefers security over luxury. Well, not exactly like his Mercedes-Benz. It's 600 Pullman guards in large quantities. With bulletproof windows and exterior, the car can withstand any attack. Still, the interior is the definition of class when traveling abroad. Naturally, the king prefers to fly well, like a king. Most of the time, he enjoys his private Boeing 747-400. This luxurious private jet costs around $150 million. However, King Mohammed is very modified and has some defensive and offensive capabilities. Being the richest king in Africa is certainly not the safest job in the world. So, the plane costs between $300 and $400 million. One of the few expenses that Mohammed indulges in purely for pleasure is his super yacht, the Buga. Naturally, the king didn't go overboard with this purchase since the yacht is only 230 feet long and costs just $50 million. Still, the king and his family can enjoy a private jacuzzi, a movie theater, pools, and of course, a helipad. Yachts are made without helipads these days. Yeah, the king of Morocco isn't really into living life to the fullest. Maybe because he thinks he's relatively poor. Can I blame him if I compare him to the other rulers on this list? Compared to them, he's poor. Wait until you hear about Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi. But before we get to him, let's see how things are going for his neighbor. Number 6. King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of Bahrain. Whether it's due to an inferiority complex from the size of the country he rules, or because he's trying to follow the example of other much wealthier Arab kings, King Hamad of Bahrain leads an extremely opulent life that makes you wonder if his $5 billion personal fortune would be enough to fund it. The king lives in the lavish Reefer Palace, which has all the comforts that royalty deserves: a private theater, an indoor pool, a private helipad, and of course, a truly fascinating interior design. The palace is valued at over $60 million, and its operating budget exceeds $1 million a month. Even though Bahrain is practically the size of New York, King Hamad loves to drive his magnificent collection of expensive and luxurious cars. His collection amounts to tens of millions, since just his Bugatti Veyron is worth over $2 million. In addition, he is often seen in his prized Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren and his Lamborghini Gallardo, both valued at around $500,000. However, when traveling abroad, King Hamad prefers the luxury of his private Boeing 748, valued at $400 million. The private jet is equipped with high-end furniture, opulent decor, and some really attractive amenities, like a gigantic master bedroom with a private bathroom and shower. This is what I call traveling like a king. He also has a fleet of private helicopters that he uses for short trips between his palaces and Bahrain. Ah, the struggles that the modern Arab king must endure. Finally, can one really call themselves an Arab king if they don't own at least one super yacht? The king of Bahrain doesn't disappoint, as he is the owner of the kingdom. With an approximate value of $150 million, this 260-foot super yacht wasn't designed for the average person, as it features stunning interior decor. One could easily mistake being in the royal palace of Bahrain instead of out in the waves. In addition, the yacht has a pool, a beach bar, a private cinema, and of course, a helipad. If not, why would the king need all those helicopters? Yes, the king of Bahrain definitely spends a lot to satisfy his taste for luxury. However, not all Arab kings are equally frivolous with their wealth, despite being immensely richer. Number 7. King Abdullah II of Jordan. King Abdullah II isn't usually the center of international news. Considering where Jordan is located, it's not too bad. However, this gives the local ruling family a unique opportunity to create a safe haven for tourists and rake in all the associated income. It's not oil money, but it's a way to make a living. With a net worth of over $750 million, King Abdullah II can afford the finer things in life. So he spends most of his days in the utmost luxury at his $150 million royal palace in Al Hassaniya in Oman. Although the interior is reminiscent of the golden age of Arabic architecture, it has a much more modern feel except for the tons of gold, silver, and ivory decorations. The palace features a private cinema, an ultra-luxurious gym, an Olympic-sized pool, several magnificent bedrooms, and a throne room. In addition to the royal palaces, the king owns an opulent portfolio of real estate throughout Jordan. He also owns properties in the US and England, but his most prized possessions are his 3 luxurious oceanfront estates in Point Dumais, Malibu. Like any Arab king, Abdullah II loves expensive and luxurious cars. He owns over 70 rare cars, displayed to the public in his Royal Automobile Museum. The total value of the vehicles exceeds $50 million, as there are some extremely expensive cars in the collection. But without a doubt, the spotlight goes to his motorcycle collection, valued at nearly $40 million. Of course, traveling in style is essential for any Arab king, so Abdullah II doesn't disappoint. He owns a luxurious modified Gulfstream USP, valued at around $40 million. The private jet is immaculately decorated with gold trim and high-end 2000 furnishings. Of course, he also owns a relatively small but very luxurious superyacht. Of course, the $85 million Haya is 282 feet long, so it's by no means small. But compared to the other kings on this list, King Abdullah's boat looks more like an excessively expensive toy.